A lot of returning players in this offense. How much do you feel like that lets you kind of take things to another level this year in terms of what you're installing?
Well, it was great having, let's start off with the staff, offensive staff back. Okay, so this will be our third year together. Every year you're together with somebody, a group of people, I think the relationship grows, knowing each other, not only individually as a person, but when it comes to game planning. So that's been great. That's been great. I think allowed us in the off season to really be comfortable uncovering things that we can get better at, because you really got to drill down and look at where we can get better. Where can we be efficient in areas we weren't nearly as efficient as we want to be at the right times, and then having a good number of our players back to give us a chance to run it back one more time. And it was an easy decision in my mind. You'll have to ask Eric, but to get a lot of those guys back because they're still playing at a high level. This isn't like, well, we got a diminishing skill set. No, our guys are still playing at a really high level. So it's exciting.
John has mentioned that a point of emphasis is pre-snap penalties. There seem to be several each day out here. Is there a common thread to those happening? And when you leave here and go inside and meet, what are you telling the players about those?
Well, you're right. There is a common thread, and that is that we're going to continue to stress it and use cadence in practice. And I've said this before, it's real easy to get frustrated, which I do. I'm the king of overreacting, okay? So, but if you do that, then you'll just go on one all the time, and that doesn't help you either. So where is that sweet spot? Now's the time to do that. We're practicing some other things in the throw game and the run game to obviously try like heck to be on point when we play the first game, but obviously we got a lot of work to do, but that's not the only thing. That's the only thing that's obvious to the naked eye, right? That, okay, we can see that, play stops, there's a yellow hanky, okay, that's not very good. Well, there's a lot of things we need to work at. That just happens to be one of them that we'll continue to fight our rear ends off to be elite at it.
Todd, do you feel like in year 3 you've been through it twice, you know what you want to do, and it's not finding what you want to do, but really perfecting what you do best?
Some of that's true, and some of that is a part of having the same players, the same skill sets. How do we get the players that we have to stay in an elite level at the areas they're elite at, if that makes sense. That's probably a crazy way of saying it. And then improve in the other areas where they can, whether it's pass protection or their ball skills or they're blocking on the perimeter, all those things. But it certainly helps when everybody's back. You can kind of build off what we already know, what they are, and just try to get a little bit better in certain areas.
Todd, where has this community?
Just to follow up on those questions, is it kind of a more variance in the cadence than last year, or just everyone getting used to it?
No, there really isn't anything different other than we're starting back up again, and it's hot. And we got a number of guys going in the game. Sometimes it's the quarterback that, he takes a little bit of time at the line of scrimmage, more than he should, and then all of a sudden you're making calls at the line and you may forget you're on a different cadence. It's all of those things are a part of it, and but I'm not going to give in. We're going to fight like heck to be good at. Why can't we be elite at cadence? Why can't we? If other teams can, we sure as heck can be and should be.
Todd, how have you seen the communication between you and Lamar grow during your time?
Oh, it grows. It grows daily with each of us, and it's not just Lamar, it's every player. I think our ability, part of that too is with each year, you're really on the same page. I think he understands what we're trying to do, and I think he understands what we're trying to accomplish against what we're seeing every day. And I think every day he feels more comfortable voicing his pleasure, displeasure in terms of what we do or how he wants to see it. That's probably strong, but just be able to communicate, because everything goes through him. Everything goes through him. Everything we do starts with his confidence in what we do, right? He already has confidence himself. He's an elite player, but what we do to make sure that we're building it to where when he gets ready to go on Sunday, he can perform at an elite level and let his talent shine. That he's worked so hard to get to this point, which he really has. And he said it, I read it yesterday, he really is he's still coming. He's still a young player, really a quarterback in my mind.
Todd, you said that that he's been going off script a bit at times, and that sometimes you let him get away with it, sometimes you coach him up. I guess, how do you balance that, him seeing what he's seeing and doing his freelance thing versus when it's time to follow exactly the play that you're on?
Well, it's all of our offense. It's collaboration. So at the end of the day, I think you set the offense, and he doesn't go AWOL. He doesn't go out of the blue. Like, it's not all of a sudden, it's within the parameters of what we do. And now is the time to do that. Now's the time to work on those things, the rapport with the receivers, those things, and getting us into a premium play. That's really what he should do. But it's all of our offense, and, like anything, I mean, once he takes over that control, that's a good thing for the Ravens. The more he does that, the more he embraces that, which he does a lot of it, that's really good for the Ravens. Because the elite players like him want that. They want the ability to do that. And then you live with the end result. That's what you do. You live with the end result, and usually with him, it's pretty special.
Todd, the depth at the skill positions is the best probably in Ravens history. I think that's fair to say. Look back at teams who've had that kind of depth. The Saints around 2010 used a fresh legs approach where they'd be constantly running in, oftentimes 5 eligible receivers per play. Do you see that as something you have in your toolkit this year?
Well, first of all, let's start off with this. The skill players that we have, okay, like I tell them, every year is a new year. So the skill group that we've got, I don't know what that is this year, okay? Our skill group can be elite, and they were elite in 2024. Well, it remains to be seen what will be in 2025 as an offensive staff and as an offensive team. Now, do I anticipate that those guys will play at an elite level? I do. But that remains to be seen. I mean, we haven't played the 2025 season yet. I forgot the rest of it because once I kind of got fired up about that.
In terms of the amount of rotation on a per game?
Oh, yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think that's great. I think I spoke about it in the offseason, like you'd rather have too many players that want the ball than not enough, or that deserve it, right? You want that. You want to be able to try and balance touches, because that's what they want, is skilled players. But without a doubt, we should be in a position to where we can keep guys fresh. We can vary personnel groups like we did last year and have a number of players, because to me that's balance. Balance is having enough players that it's not just run and pass, it's touches. That they're not just defending one player, that you're defending modes, you're defending formations, you're defending players, you're defending concepts, all the above. And we're very fortunate to have that. And we'll see, because we have to do it this year.
Todd, seeing Keaton Mitchell and how well he's running out here, do you anticipate that he's going to have certainly a bigger role than he did last year offensively?
Well, it's great to see him back, because I think last year when he came back, he still, in his own mind, I think he wanted to be ready. You'd have to ask him whether he felt that way, was confident in that. And when you don't practice for such a long time, I'm excited to see him every day out here, and I'm excited to see him when we play in the preseason, because he's got to fight to get touches. 2 years ago, we didn't have Derek. I mean, let's just say it like it is. Like, it's a fight to get touches in the backfield. Justice Hill's an established, outstanding football player. Now we got Derek. So that third running back position is fighting for reps, fighting for touches, fighting for the ability to be really good as a pass protector, all that above, special teams player, just because we're in a different place than we were a year ago. But it's exciting to see him really kind of be up to speed in the first 4 days.
Todd, when you just go back to what you were saying about efficiency, when you have the kind of year you guys had last year, how much higher do you kind of view the ceiling? And secondly, what are the one or two maybe most glaring examples from an efficiency standpoint you're focused on?
Well, we hit on it every time I get up here, which is penalties. Okay, so I'm sure I'll be up here in a couple of weeks. We'll have the same thing again. But that's number one is lost yardage plays. That falls into that, right? Getting backed up. I mean, it's you're up against it when you have those. So obviously that's a huge emphasis off season. Obviously, starting fast, the season off fast. 2 years ago we beat Houston, but we didn't play anywhere near a standard on offense. And last year we didn't come out of the block. So starting faster, okay, how we prep for that, how we game plan for that. And then I think with every player, I think it's imperative amongst our players and our coaches to maintain that high level is we got to challenge each other, because it's human nature. whatever, as a player, an offense, human beings, to settle a little bit. We're going to be good. I don't know. 2025, we'll decide that. We have plenty of talent. Talent alone just doesn't get you there. All the things that win are the work that you put in, and then play at a high level when it counts.
How do you start fast? How do you go about? Because it is a
Well, it starts with coaching. Okay, I've done such a poor job the first 2 years. We weren't ready the first game, really. I shouldn't say that. We didn't do as good a job as we could have. Then last year, going to Kansas City, there were some things we worked on in the off season that really we went into that game, and also it wasn't just that. I would just say this: scratch that, reverse it. We know each other better this year than we did last year, starting with me. Who our personnel is, right? With Derek, who we are, how we utilize our tight ends, how we utilize our wideouts. That's probably a better way of putting it. So that I started off kind of on that road. I got to do a better job, but I think we have a better idea of I know we do, of a better idea of who we are, what wins for us with the players that we have.
Todd, along those lines, I think one of the areas of the passing game that wasn't just like elite was Lamar against man blitzes, and I know that's such a small thing, but is that just a thing where you think having consistency, kind of continuity, just kind of takes care of itself, or is it something more structural that you have been focusing on this offseason?
I think there's some merit to that, but it doesn't make any sense in some ways because we have guys that can separate. So against man, that isn't really an issue. It's doing a better job of myself helping us get into a better play, maybe better protection, concepts that we run, anticipating it. But for sure, it's crazy. You look at the statistic, like, how were we not? When there were so many other areas we were elite at, and you're thinking, wow, Lamar's ability to escape, hey, our guys that can really separate, we got a really good offensive line, we got elite backs, so that doesn't make sense, but you're right, we need to be a lot better at it.
One more